everyone. I am so excited to be here today. I'm speaking at this conference, being able to share my story with each and every one of you. I know that the last year has been crazy with COVID-19, but for some of you has truly been a comfort zone. A lot of you are walking around with your cute masks. Now that we've been wearing them for almost a year, you've gotten them customized and personalized, and you're looking really cute. But one of the things that those masks are helping to do is helping to hide who you truly are. You know what I'm talking about. How many of you are dealing with imposter syndrome? How many of you are going to work every day showing up a totally different person? You know what I'm talking about. I know firsthand what that looks like. Do you know how I know? Because I've lived it, I've walked it. I have been the perfect picture for imposter syndrome. Let me explain to you how. I've been a nurse executive. I've had the corner office. I made a six-figure income. I lived in the suburbs in a big old house. I drive a caddy truck. I got it all. I even got a husband that I've been married to for almost 30 years. 2 kids that I'm trying my best to kick out the house, but they won't go. All I'm missing is the dog and a white picket fence. People at work are so amazed. So many people that see me are like, oh my goodness, Dr. B, you have all of this. But they don't understand that I'm showing up a totally different person. I'm dealing with imposter syndrome. You see, I'm showing them who they want to see, not necessarily who they need to see, so that they can be the best that they can be. I showed up every day, living this life. So many people want what I had, but they didn't understand what I went through to get where I was at. I know I'm not the only person out there that's struggling with that. I know I'm not. Show of hands, how many of you, now that I've described it, are dealing with imposter syndrome? I know. But in order to live our best life, in order to live our truth, we have to shed that. We have to let people know who we are. We have to be transparent. See, what I want to do today during my speech is I want to take you out of your comfort zone. I want us to have a grown folks conversation. You know what I'm talking about, those conversations that grandma and mama used to have, and they used to say, get out of here, no kids allowed. Kids shouldn't be hearing this. Kids shouldn't be seeing this. I want to have that type of conversation. And if you're watching this today with someone else in the room, I'm just asking for you to do a couple of things. As I ask a series of questions, I want you, as the person next to you raises their hand, or even if they attempt to raise their hand, or you feel them flinch in some type of way when I ask these questions, I ask that you be non-judgmental, that you don't give them a side eye, that you don't make them feel less than. If anything, I want you to reach over and I want you to pat their hand and I want you to tell them it's going to be okay and you got their back. Can you do that for me? I think you can do that for me. I'm Bridget Leonard. I'm Dr. Bridget Leonard, and I'm Dr. V, and I'm about to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you on this journey with me. So let's go ahead, buckle your seatbelts, and let's go on this grown folks journey. Let's start with the questions. Are you ready? All right. How many of you lost a child? How many of you lost a parent before the age of 10? How many of you were shuffled from house to house when you were growing up because you had parents that were either drug addicted or had alcohol issues or some type of mental issues? How many of you were told that you would never amount to anything? How many of you were abused coming up? Verbally abused, physically abused, mentally abused, sexually abused. How many of you suffer from depression? There were times when it was so dark, you couldn't see your way out. How many of you were chased around the house by a person with a shotgun with the pure intent to kill you, and that person was your own mother? It's deep, isn't it? How many of you had a child by the age of 15? How many of you dropped out of high school? How many of you were told that you were cute, to be so dark, to have lips so big? How many of you had 4 kids by the age of 21? How many of you felt like giving up so many times? And you even took it a step further by trying to commit suicide once, twice, maybe even 3 times. I know the questions I asked were hard. The questions I asked possibly made you feel transparent. The questions I asked possibly even put tears in your eyes because it took you to a place that you had forgot about, that you had left in a corner. Because again, you're dealing with imposter syndrome. When I asked those questions, did you notice one thing? Because I asked each and every one of you to hold up your hand if that question applied to you. Did you notice what was happening here on the stage? Did you notice that for each question I asked, my hand stayed up? My hand stayed up for each and every question that I asked you. Now, all those questions I asked, there's no way, there's no reason whatsoever that all of that should happen to one person. But it did. That one person was me. But I'm standing here today because I've learned that what doesn't break you truly, truly makes you stronger. So I'm not asking for your pity today. Oh no, I am not asking for your pity. Because each and every lesson, each and every trial and tribulation that I went through growing up, it made me stronger. It made me want more. It made me want to do more. That is why I'm asking you to let imposter syndrome go, to be the best you can be, to live with your truth. Your truth helped to make you who you are today. Don't let anyone take that away from you. You see, I'm sitting here today with all of that baggage behind me. But don't get me wrong. It was not an easy journey. You see, I turned 50 last year, and I didn't start sharing that until about 2 years ago. Why? Because I had to learn how to forgive. I had to forgive all of those people that put all that hurt and pain on me so that I could live my life. So what I did 2 years ago was I made a big, bold move. And I went on Facebook and I wrote a letter of apology. I wrote a letter of apology to my mom. And in that letter, I forgave her for all the things she did to me. You see, me and my mom, we had a very tumultuous relationship, years 1 through 18. But from the age of 18 to 19, we created a bond that was unbreakable. We were able to talk as women. Unfortunately, that was her last year of life. So we did everything in that 1 year that should have been done for the whole 19 years of my life. But I held on to that for years. My mom died in 1991. It wasn't until 2010. It wasn't until 2018 that I was able to say, you know what, Mom? I forgive you for not being the best mom because you probably didn't know what a mother was supposed to be. And I realized that I had to let all of that go so that I can live my best life, so that I can be a better mom. To what now I have 6 kids, ages 19 to 35. My older kids, I denied them a mom for so long because I didn't know how to be one. But I'm determined from here on out to be the best mom that I can be, to be the best person that I can be. My personal mission statement in life is to positively affect at least one person every day through words, thoughts, or actions. And I'm living every day of my life making that true. There were 3 things in my life that made me see that I needed to be better, that I needed to do better. Those 3 things were, first and foremost, when my mom died, being the oldest child, having to write her obituary. My mom never worked. Like I said, she was addicted to drugs, she was addicted to alcohol. I didn't know what to write because I didn't want to write the bad things. So at that point, I was determined that when it came time for my death, my 6 kids would not have to think about what to write because I would make a way in this world that I positively impacted so many people, including them, especially them, that they would be writing for days. So that was one thing. The second thing that impacted my life was my son dying. At the age of 21, I had 4 kids. I lost one of those kids to SIDS. He was 2.5 months old. You see, at that time, I had went back to college. My mom always said that I was book smart, not necessarily street smart. I didn't understand what she was saying, but I got it. I got it. So I went back to school. But after I lost my son, I went to work study for a month straight. Don't ask me how I got there. Don't even ask me why I was there. But one day they came up to me and they said, Bridget, this isn't going to work. You're coming to work, you're not here, you're not present, you're not showing up, and you're smelling like a homeless person. You need to get yourself together. It was at that point that I realized that I had 3 other kids at home that I had to live for. You see, I understand now that God gives us kids in our life. He's given them to us on a borrowed plan. And I had to embrace that and accept that in order to move on. I knew that God had gave him to me for only 2.5 months, but he gave him to me for a reason, for me to get myself together. And from that point on, I've tried my best to be the best person that I can be. So I thank you, God, for that gift. And I thank you for my son because he truly helped to impact me. The third thing that helped to change my life was simply working at McDonald's. I was working at McDonald's at 21 years old. I thought I was doing something. I started at McDonald's. I was working in the grill. They moved me to the front of the restaurant as a crew leader. I thought I was doing something. Duh. I'm still in McDonald's. Whether it's the front of the building or the back of the building, I'm still at McDonald's making $3.35 an hour trying to raise 3 kids and myself. And my husband and I had gotten married when I was 19. Where did they do that at? That wasn't going to work for me. So I had to do better. So those 3 things helped to catapult me to make me want to do better. So although I was a high school dropout, I turned my life around. Right now, even though I went through all of that stuff and I described to you guys, I was a teen mom. I was abused in every fashionable way. I tried to kill myself 3 times. I suffered from depression. I didn't like myself. There were times I didn't look in the mirror. Look at me today. I have on bright pink lipstick. There was a time where I wouldn't put on lipstick because I wanted to hide, because I thought my beauty was a curse. But today I embrace my beauty. I embrace my big lips. I embrace my chocolate colored skin. I embrace me. Today I'm Dr. B. I'm bold. I'm beautiful. I'm empowered. I'm encouraging. I'm motivating. I'm inspiring. I'm a nurse. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a professor. I like to tell people I'm all that. And 2 bags of chips. 2 bags of whole food chips at that. It's funny because sometimes people take my confidence as cockiness. What they don't understand is for the longest, I hid. I hid who I was. I hid in corners. I let my successes tell my story. I didn't use my voice. But today I'm asking you to start using your voice, to tell people who you are, to tell people what you've been through. They need to hear that. For the past 2 years, I've been telling my story. And I have helped so many people to see that your past does not dictate your future. It truly doesn't. Me opening my mouth has helped so many broken women understand that life is worth living, that life is worth taking chances and being the best you can be. I often tell people you cannot pour from an empty cup. So today I love myself and I pour into myself constantly, frequently. And I'm asking you to do the same because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to do things for you. Because when you put a smile on your face, when you're living your best life, you can't help but to spread that onto others. It becomes contagious. So I'm asking you to do that. I'm asking you to live your best life. I'm asking you to crush your goals, to not hide behind imposter syndrome. Let people accept you for who you are. It's okay. We weren't made in a common mode. We were all put on this earth to be different, to add value to each other's lives. And unfortunately, some of us have to go through the bad things in order to grow. You see, on my wrist, I have a tattoo of a lotus. I love the lotus. This is a flower that is grown in mud, but it rises above the water and it floats on that water, and it's one of the most beautiful flowers. I see that in you. I see it in me. We can all be lotuses out here. So, as I end my speech today, and again, the purpose is to not let your past dictate your future, to write the chapters of your life. When I say write the chapters of your life, I'm saying if I would have stuck with what society wanted me to be, if I wouldn't have pushed forward, if I wouldn't have persevered, I would merely be a picture in Webster's dictionary up under the word statistic. But because I pushed forward and because I believed in myself and because people believed in me, you can now find my picture in the dictionary up under perseverance. And I'm going to keep pushing and I'm going to keep pushing. So today I'm going to leave you with 3 takeaways. First and foremost, if you went through anything that I've discussed, any of those issues where I asked you to raise your hand, if you went through any of those issues and you have wounds that are not healed and you still have scabs, I'm asking you to seek counseling. Counseling is very, very important. You need a professional. That professional is not your best friend. That professional, sometimes it's not even your pastor. Please go seek out licensed help. Second, I'm asking you to live your best life. Living your best life does not mean a 6-figure income. I quit corporate America. I quit corporate America almost a year ago, and I'm the happiest person I've ever been in my life. Living your best life does not mean having a corner office. Living your best life simply means finding things and placing people in your life that make you smile, that make you want to get up, that make you want to go hard, that make you want to go harder, and finding ways to positively impact others. The third thing I'm going to leave you with is take back the pen and write the chapters of your life. Don't let anyone define you but you. I can't want more for you than you want for yourself. I am Dr. V. Do not let your past dictate your future. Write the chapters of your own life. Live your best life, crushing goals. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.